Hey everyone, welcome back to Go English. I'm Sam, and I'm really happy you're here learning with us today.
And hey everyone, I'm Tom. If you're joining us again, welcome back. And if this is your first time here, we're really glad you found us. Here at Go English, we like to learn step by step together through real conversations that help you feel more confident speaking English.
Tom, lately when I watch the news, it feels like there are a lot of difficult things happening in the world.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Conflicts are happening in many places right now, and in some regions, especially in the Middle East, the situation has been very tense and painful for many people.
Yes, and when we see these stories, we often want to talk about them with care, with respect, and with empathy.
Exactly. Sometimes people want to express their feelings about war, about peace, or about the suffering people are going through, but they're not sure how to say it in English.
So today, we're going to learn how to talk about war and peace in English using simple, natural sentences that people actually say in real conversations.
And we'll talk about this topic in a thoughtful way, a respectful way, and most importantly, in a hopeful way.
And at the end of this video, we'd also like to share a small message of peace for people everywhere in the world.
So if you enjoy learning real English through natural conversations like this, don't forget to like the video, share it with a friend, and subscribe to the channel.
All right, everyone, let's get started. Tom, before we talk about peace, maybe we should first talk a little about the words people use when they talk about war. Not in a political way, not like the news, just simple language people use to express concern and care.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Sam. Because sometimes when people see difficult news from different parts of the world, they want to say something kind, something thoughtful, but they're not sure what words to use in English.
Exactly, Tom. So today we'll look at a few simple words people often hear in conversations about war or conflict. And don't worry, everyone, we'll keep it simple and calm.
Right. The goal here is not to analyze the news, it's simply to understand the language people use when they talk about these situations with empathy.
All right, Tom, let's start with the most basic word, the word war. What does war mean in simple English?
Good question, Sam. War usually means a large conflict between countries or groups. It's when fighting continues for a long time and affects many people.
Ah, I see. So it's a very serious situation.
Yes, it is. For example, someone might say, there has been a war in that region for many years.
Right. So war is the most direct and general word people use. But Tom, I notice something interesting sometimes. People don't always say war, right?
Oh, that's true, Sam. Sometimes people use another word, conflict.
Conflict. What does that mean exactly?
A conflict is a serious disagreement or fighting between groups or countries. It can include war, but sometimes people use the word conflict because it sounds a little softer or less direct.
Ah, that makes sense.
Example sentence, there is a conflict between the two countries.
So sometimes people choose the word conflict when they want to talk about a difficult situation in a calmer way.
Exactly, Sam.
Another word we sometimes hear is violence. That's also related to war, right, Tom?
Yes, it is. Violence means physical harm when people hurt each other or destroy things.
Oh, yeah, that's something people everywhere hope will stop.
For example, someone might say, people are tired of violence.
That's a very powerful sentence, actually.
Yeah, it really is.
Tom, there's another word we hear a lot when war happens, refugees. What does that mean?
A refugee is someone who leaves their home country because it is no longer safe, often because of war or violence.
Ah, that must be incredibly difficult for families.
It really is, Sam. People often have to leave everything behind just to find safety somewhere else. Example sentence,
Many refugees are looking for safety.
Oh, yeah, that's probably one of the saddest parts of war.
Yes, families leaving their homes, hoping for a safer place. It reminds us how important peace really is.
Tom, after talking about those difficult words, maybe it's time to talk about something much more hopeful.
Oh, yes, Sam. Let's talk about peace.
I like that word already.
Peace means a situation where there is no war and no violence, when people can live safely and calmly. Example, everyone hopes for peace.
Wow, such a simple sentence, but such a powerful idea. What about the word peaceful, Tom?
Peaceful is an adjective. It describes something calm, safe, and without conflict. Example sentence, we want a peaceful world.
Oh, I think everyone watching this video would agree with that.
I think so too, Sam.
Sometimes we also hear the phrase peace agreement. What does that mean?
A peace agreement is when two sides decide to stop fighting and officially agree to live peacefully. Example, the countries signed a peace agreement.
That always sounds like good news.
Definitely.
And there's another word that sometimes appears in the news, ceasefire.
Yes, a ceasefire means the fighting stops, sometimes temporarily, sometimes longer. Example sentence, the two sides agreed to a ceasefire.
So basically, ceasefire means stop fighting.
Exactly, Sam. Very simple. Stop fighting.
Tom, you know something interesting. When people talk about war, they usually don't use complicated English.
That's very true, Sam. When emotions are strong, people naturally choose simple words, but those simple words can carry very deep meaning.
I love that idea. Simple English, but powerful feelings.
Exactly. So today, let's share some real sentences native speakers often say when they talk about war or conflict.
Yes, sentences you might hear in conversations, news interviews, or social media.
Here's one of the most common ones. I hope the war ends soon.
Yes, people say that a lot.
And sometimes they say, I just want the fighting to stop.
That sentence feels very human.
Another one people often say is, my heart goes out to the people there.
Oh, that's a beautiful expression.
It means you feel deep sympathy for people who are suffering.
Right, you're telling them that you care about their pain. Another simple sentence people say is, no one deserves to live in fear.
Yeah, everyone understands that feeling. Sometimes people also say, children shouldn't have to grow up in war.
That sentence always hits me emotionally.
Here's another common one. I hope people can live in peace.
Yes, that might be one of the most universal wishes in the world.
And sometimes people express frustration, too. They might say, war never solves anything.
Right. That sentence carries a lot of reflection.
Or this one, war only brings suffering.
Oh, simple words, but very powerful.
And here's another sentence people often say online. Innocent people are the ones who suffer the most.
Sadly, that's often true. And sometimes people say something very hopeful. I believe peace will come one day.
That sentence gives people hope.
You know what I noticed, Tom? None of these sentences are difficult.
Exactly. The grammar is simple, the vocabulary is simple.
But the meaning is very deep.
And that's the beauty of English. Sometimes the simplest sentences are the most powerful.
Yes, simple words, but real human feelings. Tom, before we continue, I think this is a really important moment to pause for a second.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Sam.
Because when we talk about war or conflicts in the world, the words we choose really matter.
They do. This topic is very sensitive, and people watching this video may come from many different countries, many different backgrounds.
Exactly. Some viewers may even have family or friends who are affected by these situations.
Oh, yeah. That's why it's so important to speak carefully, with respect and kindness.
So, Tom, maybe we can share a few simple principles for talking about these topics respectfully in English.
That's a great idea, Sam. Let's keep it simple.
The first principle is avoid blaming people.
Right. When we talk about war, it's usually not helpful to blame entire countries or entire groups of people.
Yes, because ordinary people are often the ones who suffer the most.
Exactly.
The second principle is focus on human suffering.
In other words, focus on the people, the families, the children, the communities.
Yes, the real lives behind the headlines.
Sometimes when we remember that, our words naturally become kinder.
And the third principle is very important. Speak with empathy.
Empathy means trying to understand how others feel.
Even if we don't fully understand their situation, we can still speak with compassion.
Exactly, Sam.
Tom, maybe we can show a simple example.
Oh, that's a great idea.
For example, instead of saying something harsh like, that country is terrible,
A more thoughtful way to speak would be, I feel sorry for the people affected by the war.
ah, yes, that sounds much more compassionate.
Because the goal is not to judge people. The goal is to show care for those who are suffering.
Exactly, Tom. Sometimes a few gentle words can make a big difference. Tom, sometimes when people talk about difficult topics like this, they don't use long explanations or complicated words.
Yeah, that's true, Sam. Most real conversations are actually very simple. Just a few sentences, but full of feeling.
Exactly. So let's show everyone a short example of how people might talk about this in a natural, everyday conversation.
All right, Sam. Let's imagine two friends talking after seeing the news.
Okay, here we go. Did you see the news today?
Yeah, I did. It's really sad.
I just hope the conflict ends soon.
Me too. No family should have to live like that.
I know. I just hope people can live in peace.
Yeah, that's what everyone deserves.
Wow, Tom, that conversation is very simple.
It is, Sam.
But you can really feel the emotion behind those words.
Exactly. Sometimes the most powerful sentences are the simplest ones.
Just a few kind words and a wish for peace.
Yeah. And honestly, Sam, I think that's something people everywhere can understand.
Tom, this reminds me of something really important about learning English.
Oh, what's that, Sam?
When people learn English, they sometimes try to memorize a long list of sentences, 10 sentences, 20 sentences, sometimes even 50.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've seen that too, and honestly, that can feel pretty overwhelming.
Exactly. But here at Go English, we like to do things a little differently.
That's right. You don't need to memorize 20 sentences.
No, not at all. You only need to remember a few sentences that you truly feel.
Yes, sentences that sound natural to you, sentences that match your feelings.
So instead of memorizing everything, just choose 2 or 3 sentences that speak to your heart.
For example, you might say, I hope the war ends soon.
Or a sentence like, my heart goes out to them.
And another beautiful sentence is, I hope people can live in peace.
Simple words, but full of compassion.
Yeah, sometimes the most meaningful English is also the simplest English.
Exactly, Tom. So don't try to memorize everything.
Just feel the words and use the ones that truly mean something to you.
Tom, before we finish today's lesson, I think this is a good moment to pause and remember something important.
Yeah, I agree, Sam. Because behind all these words we learned today, there are real people, real families, real lives.
Today, many people around the world are suffering because of war.
Families are separated, homes are destroyed, and many people are simply hoping for safety.
But even with all these difficult situations, people everywhere still share the same hope.
A peaceful world.
So, wherever you are watching this video, whatever country you live in,
We truly send you our wishes for safety and peace.
may every family be safe.
And may peace come soon.
Tom, today's topic was a little different from our usual lessons.
Yeah, it was, Sam. But sometimes language is not just about grammar or vocabulary. It's about understanding the world around us.
That's right, because English is not only a language,
It's also a way to connect with people.
and sometimes it's a way to share hope. So if you enjoyed learning with us today, don't forget to like the video, share it with someone who might enjoy it, and keep learning with us here at Go English.
Yes, study with us, grow with us. And we'll see you in the next episode of Go English.
Goodbye!